Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Shocker, I already did this take, but my mic was muted. I know that's 1000% on brand for me, but this is going to be a video on the sovereign citizen Van Balian covered on the 17th. I believe it was the 17th. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail, so I'm not going to call it a copy video, because I'm going to go to the Twitter page of Cooker Watch, the same people he was talking about, because this is the video we're going to cover. Funny story about that, on the 15th he posted it. On the 16th, he deleted it, and then he re-uploaded it. But I'm going to do something else. I went and found his YouTube page, Grant Hilton. Grant Hilton seems to be, I don't want to call him a scammer, but he seems to be one of those get rich quick, I'm going to make a YouTube video about nothing. That seems to be on brand for him. He posted part 1, Grant's Showdown. Unregistered vehicle, private plates, and UCC law victory. Where's the part 2, Grant? With that being said, we're going to jump to the article about this case. A sovereign citizen and bizarre cop showdown. Bizarre footage shows an interaction between a driver who calls himself a sovereign citizen and 2 Queensland police officers. 2-minute read. This is from August 16th. Grant Warren Hudson in the footage tells police during the roadside stop that his car is registered under international law, not Queensland law. I'm not going to talk about much of this, but just kind of hit on the funny points. He tells the 2 officers his vehicle is privately owned, which is why it won't come up in their registration system, also telling him that his car's dry dock. Seeing as how I was in a dry dock on an aircraft carrier, I can confirm that he is not in a dry dock. I just want to go to where he says victory on his YouTube video, and that's not the case, right there. Well, I gotta keep going. There we go. Police have revealed that he was issued 4 infringement notices with a combined fine of almost $1,500. Use/permit use vehicle without number plate attached as required under regulation, make, sell, or process something that resembles a registration certificate, number plate, or permit, driving an uninsured Class 1, 2, 6, 8, 13, 16, or 24 motor vehicle on the road. Personally, I feel like that's way too many classes of vehicle. And use/permit use of unregistered 4-cylinder or 2-rotor motor vehicle. Yeah, so it was also ultimately 1484, which means that you did not win, Grant. That means you actually lost. So I doubt there will ever be a part 2 to this video.
Is there an emergency? An emergency?
I've just been stopped for a registration license check.
There you go.
What's this?
You're being served.
Being served?
Yeah, you're being served.
Served with what?
A document of mine for any unlawful detainment, and starting from the clock now, my name's, I go by the name of Grant Warren Hudson. I have a power of attorney over my birth certificate.
Do you have a driver's license on you?
I do.
Yep. I'll grab that off here. Is it your vehicle?
It is my vehicle, I own it.
Yep. Registered to yourself?
Yep.
Yep.
Under UCC law, under international law.
Okay.
I've got all my documentation here, number 1. Now have a look at that, that's my UCC filing number in the US.
What's a rego? Your proper rego of your car?
There's a copy of my registration, my insurance, third party and full comprehensive insurance.
What was your surname? Your last name, sorry?
I'm power of attorney over Grant Warren Hudson. Here is my notice.
That's okay.
To Neil Scales, the Director General, the Department of Transport. There's my registration.
Did you say Warren was your middle name? Yeah. What's your date of birth, Grant?
1957. Here is my, here is, yes it is. It's registered under international law, and there's my copy you can have a look at.
Law?
Yeah, it is the registration.
Registered with
Neil Scales, the Department of Transport, yes. Under my UCC filing number, there's a copy.
So most people know this, But I'll break it down a little bit. The UCC he's referring to is the Uniform Commercial Code. The Uniform Commercial Code is a standardized set of regulations for conducting business and financial transactions in, guess where? The United States, a place where he is not currently at.
It's the third time I've been through the same process.
Were you driving around with plates that don't belong to the vehicle?
They do belong to me and they do belong to the vehicle. They're my plates and under my UCC number, and they're registered and insured. Every part of it is totally lawful. And if you check all your documentation, you'll see it's in order. This isn't registered with Queensland Transport. It's appointing Queensland Transport as judiciary. I own this vehicle. You guys don't own it. It's not under Queensland Transport. It's under international law. This vessel is in dry dock.
Okay, guys, this is going to be the awkwardest thing to talk about, but here on the bottom you see the water and this little tiny bridge keeping all of the water out. You see this giant hole that is dry. That is where the vessel, or his car as he says, that's where it would go to get some sort of maintenance. His car is not in one of those getting maintenance, therefore it is not dry docked. It is on the roadway.
And it is absolutely clear. If you have a look at this, this is appointing Neil Scales as the judiciary, and this was served upon him. And he has a copy of this.
I don't need that.
Well, you do need this because this is where it shows you the registration. And there's a registration number.
Do you type all this up yourself?
Pardon?
Do you type
My lawyer did all this.
Who's
It's
your lawyer?
totally lawful.
Oh, yeah. Who's your lawyer?
Quentin Smith at Broadbeach Law Group.
Alright guys, so I slowed it down to about half speed, picked up Broadbeach Law Group. Turns out, Broadbeach Law Group, Queensland, Australia. They haven't updated anything since 2019. I went to the Our divisions, the BBLG Conveyancing. I thought Conveyancing, that's got to be the one. That's their real estate branch. Clinton R. Smith Litigation and Commercial Lawyers, however, I could never get to their page. It just kept not allowing me to go to their page, whether it's still a page, not still a page. I won't ever know from America, so if you guys want to try it and see if that works, but I don't think they knew what he was doing with this paperwork.
There's the registration number of the vehicle, UCC 202305231237. Private, vessel and dry dock UCC 1-30A.
Yeah, none of that makes...
Doesn't make sense to you, but you need to understand that it is lawful. And insurance company wouldn't insure us if it wasn't, correct? And you got a copy of insurance, and you can contact your superiors and check with them. All my paperwork's in order. It's not in your system. You guys don't own it. It's private. Kai, look at me. Turn to me. This is where they get really confused. This is also my power of attorney over my birth certificate, me taking ownership over myself. This is where it gets really interesting. So, if you follow these procedures, if they break any laws from here on out, then they're being unlawful, and that means they're trying to stand over and above me and using coercion, which is also unlawful and against the law if they try to stop me from driving my own vehicle. So now they're going to have to contact their superiors, and this is where it gets confusing for them. So let's see what happens.
Using coercion. Nobody's confused, my guy. The only person confused in this entire situation is you. And I don't want to spoiler alert it yet, but clearly somebody else is filming for him. When we find out who's filming for him, I'm going to break that down because I find it absolutely disgusting.
need this vehicle for? That's another new vehicle.
Another new one. What do you do with the other ones?
I sell them every year. And
Every
I buy a
12
new
months?
one.
Well, that'll make sense.
Now, it's not on your system for good reason. You guys don't own it. It's not owned by you. It's
Yeah,
owned
it's
by
not
my
registered
private
with me.
organisation.
Yeah, we know it's...
I know where you're coming from, but I've been down this. I've won it in court over and over again, and we just have to keep going down the same path. And
If he had really won over and over and over again like he claims, there would be a part 2 to this video. There would be other part 1 and part 2s to this video, but instead it's this one sovereign citizen video and a bunch of nonsense.
you guys realize that this is lawful, and what's happening, I know you don't think it is, but all my paperwork's in order. My insurance is there, everything's there. You ring up AAMI, you can check with them.
Oh, you're
My
insured,
vehicle's
you're just not
fully
registered.
comprehensive. No, it's registered. Look,
It's not registered.
this
It's
document,
insured.
I have a receipt of insurance, and I'll show you. Have a look at this document. Shows it's insured with
I know
Neil
it.
Scales, the Department of
We know
Transport.
it's insured, but it's not registered.
No, it's registered. It's registered. You can't see the registration. That doesn't mean to say it's registered. It's registered under UCC law with Neil Scales, appointing him as the judiciary. Now, you don't understand that, but if you ring your superiors and check with them, it's still registered, just not on your system because they don't contract with you guys.
When
Now-
you drive a car, as you know, on a Queensland road, you have to register it.
No, you don't.
You do.
UCC law 1-308 states clearly that you don't have to contract with Queensland Transport if you don't wish. However, you can appoint them as a judiciary. Now, it's not... Do you know if you say you have to register that that's coercion and you're forcing me to contract with another company or organisation, which I don't have to do? I mean, you don't realise this, but everything's changed since 2020. You know we're currently in martial law.
No.
I own every part of this vehicle. I own the plates, I own the car, and it can't be touched or tampered with. It's my vehicle. This is where it gets interesting. Hold it here to me.
At least they're not coming on my side.
They're trying to work it out right now because they know that I'm right.
It's hard for them to... It's really easy if they don't come on my side. But if it's on my side, it's harder. Because they might, like, take the phone off me. But they can't do that. Not allowed.
Yes, you heard it right. This guy is indoctrinating a child into being a paper terrorist. I'm not advocating for CPS or the Australia equivalent to just snatch that girl up, but this is the equivalent of taking your kid on a B&E, getting caught and going, oopsie, I thought I was right. You're not right. You know you're not right. Yet you're here preaching to your child about nonsense. This time not so much, but prior, before she said anything, he was clearly saying, oh, they're just confused. They're trying to work it out. I'm right. No, the fuck you're not. You are literally harming that child by teaching her how to be a domestic terrorist.
So right now the clock is currently ticking. I'm served them with a document. We're at $10,000 per hour. So we just sit here and we wait it out. The clock's currently ticking. Then we serve them this video as evidence to the fact that the clock is currently ticking. And they're at $10,000 an hour. And we continue to do that. So here's the 10,000 unlawful detainment, apprehension, or arrest. So right now we're just going to sit here and we're going to wait for them to try and work it out. They're now on the phone to their superiors trying to get to the bottom of it. Because I've got a copy of everything. I carry a copy of everything with me. And we haven't even got to the first will and testament of the grantor yet, which is my mother putting power of attorney over my birth certificate, which means they don't even have the right to actually pull me over right now. I'm totally out of their jurisdiction.
I believe the article said that this was 2 Queensland police officers. With that being said, if this guy got out of his car and looked down, he would be standing in Queensland, Australia. Therefore, being in their jurisdiction, just because your mother sneezed on your birth certificate and said your power of attorney does not mean you are now immune to any law of Australia.
So this is where it's going to get really fun. And you know what? I'm not going to give up ever until I put this thing to bed. And these guys start to understand that I don't need to register my vehicle with them. That everybody has their own right to travel, and no one should try and stop them. Right now, they're contemplating whether they should continue down the path or not. And they realise that they're being served with my document now as well, which is making them question that too. So how much an hour do they want to be at, and what do they want to go through?
Where you like to go.
No problems.
I just thought I'd let you know so you know what's happening.
Oh no, a sovereign citizen who abruptly ended their live stream / video right when they were about to be held accountable. I'm not shocked by that whatsoever. Like I said, almost $1,500 off of 4 tickets. He seems like he is, again, one of those people who are just a scammer by nature. He's going to push this. He's going to try to be a guru. He does not want to see, or he doesn't want his people to see, I don't even know how many subscribers he has, 1,000. He doesn't want his 1,000 subscribers to see him fail or to see him be wrong. So obviously they cut it, never posted the part 2. And that's the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was a little more insight. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.